Please welcome Diane Durand.
Hi, everyone. So when Dean asked me to be the host of this event, I felt like Tina Fey being asked to host the Oscars, and I said, can I please open with a musical number? And he said yes. And this is what you're about to experience. So I've been highly encouraged, which is going to be a good thing or a bad thing. And I immediately called my sister Meg. And I don't know how many of you know Meg from the Rockstar University, but she is short and blonde, and I said, please come be the Amy Poehler to my Tina Fey, which she said, hell to the no. And she didn't even come to New York because she's so afraid about what I'm about to do. And so Dean and I have talked for months about this. I have rehearsed this rigorously in my bathroom, which is smaller than this, so we'll see how it goes. And we talked about a lot of the key words about what is it about this conference. And the first word was authenticity. All of you are authentic in what you bring to this work. Transparency. We are all here to share and learn and grow from each other. Take risks. I'm taking a big one tonight. Why not show you how to take a risk? The other thing is communication. So regardless about how I sing tonight, good or bad, musicals are still a highly valued form of communication. And yet this summer, I went to the Red Mountains in Utah and I studied petroglyphs, which are cave drawings. And why is it still so novel for me to say, I'm going to draw for you tonight, and you get a sideways glance whenever we do this work? And then the other thing is dream big. So I found the list that I wrote whenever I was 17 years old of what I wanted to accomplish by the age of 40. I turned 40 this year. Three things on that list I did not accomplish yet are perform on Broadway, host Saturday Night Live, and be on the Arsenio Hall show. So tonight I'm mashing all those and I'm crossing them off my bucket list. So thank you. So I remember being a child, and I remember being a doodler, and I colored. And I had a lake house where I would go and I would look through the coloring books where all my cousins had come to visit, and I would compare coloring styles and drawing. And I drew all the time as a kid. But then I remember going to school and being told, don't draw, you're not paying attention, you're not listening. And I wish that this little child in me had had the strength to say, don't tell me not to draw, just sit and listen. Life's full of information and I should just get it. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my doodles. Don't tell me not to draw, I simply got to. If someone fails this test, it's me, not you. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my doodles. I'll take my pens, my markers too, and I'll draw this and I'll draw that, and I might even draw you. But don't tell me not to draw. Don't tell me not to dream, because people who need doodles are the luckiest people in the world. With one marker, one very special Neuland marker. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who can doodle. People who can doodle are the luckiest people in the world. And so, as you may have noticed, I got a degree in theater. This little girl had her drawing light turned off, but she kept it alive through theater. And I got a degree from the University of Texas at Austin, and then I went on to work for the Goodman Theater in Chicago. While there, I stumbled upon some amazing work at the Accelerated Solutions environment and Matt and Gail Taylor. But before I left there, I had a mentor, Alice Butler, who gave me the biggest challenge ever. She said, you're going to play a Russian gypsy who is a horse singing a musical with sign language on an elevated stage. If I can do that, I can sing on this small stage for you tonight. And so I discovered this world, but there I was, this young 20-something-year-old, trying to sell doodles for dollars to corporations. And I put on all of this masculine business modeling. I got the suits, I got the language, I could talk about collaboration, innovation, strategery, you name it. And I could figure out how to sell this for you. But I would show up at an event, and I would still feel that insecurity of like, what am I doing here? Why did I agree to do this? I am quitting after today. This is my last gig. I would tell myself that all the time, because I'd show up and I'd set up all my markers, and then this person would show up, and they're about to do their PowerPoint, and I'd be like, hi, I'm Diane Durand, I'm your graphic facilitator today. And he would look at me and be like, what? And I'm like, oh, no one told you. I am going to be drawing your conversation. I'm going to be capturing the authentic dialogue that happens here. I'm going to be not only capturing what is said here, but keeping your conversation alive and making it something that people can go back to 1 month, 2 months, 3 months from now. Because, I mean, really, who's going to open your PowerPoint in 3 months? Oh, your PowerPoint is that good. Awesome. Great. I'm just going to be over here at this board. And so I would come to this whiteboard, and it would just be like, suddenly the world was such a perfect place, standing here with all this white space. Suddenly, my life doesn't seem such a waste. It all revolves around you, the client. And there's no metaphor too hard, no acronym too long. Trust me, they get long. Throw out your ideas, I will capture them all. Brainstorms may gather and visions collide, but I'll draw for you, at least until the end of your event. Come what may. TSA tried to take my markers again. Come what may. This tape is not sticking to the board. I will draw for you, at least until the end of today. Come what may. I've been standing for 4 hours and I haven't been to the loo. Come what may. I totally did not break in these shoes. I will draw for you, at least until the end of lunch. Come what may. I know I put a power bar in this bag somewhere. Come what may. Is there no Dr. Pepper in this hotel? I will draw for you, at least until the end of this PowerPoint. And so I would sit there during events and I would talk myself out of doing this work, and I would say, oh my God, this is the last time I'm going to do this. Because the work that we do challenges us emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. We show up and we are a channel for creativity, for collaboration, for conflict. We hold this space, and then we're supposed to listen to what is said and what is not said and captured in a single picture. And so this work is so powerful, but you know what? I realized this work was even more powerful when I became a mom. And I had 2 little baby girls, Lillian and Lucy. Lucy, at the age of 3, marked her height throughout the whole house with a hot pink highlighter. Lillian took all my Post-it notes and decided to make a zoo out of it. Lucy, I took to see cats, which was the most expensive nap ever, only to find her 4 days later in the buff with a purple marker with cat ears and whiskers. And I thought, this is a great teaching moment. And I took her to the bathroom and I closed the door, and she saw herself in the full mirror. And she said, oh, thank you, Mama, I missed a spot. And she kept drawing. And then we put her in the bath, and the bath water turned purple, so she thought it was the coolest thing ever. These girls have 2 of the most creative parents out there. They can draw on anything. Lillian, my oldest, this summer, before she left, she was rewriting, doing the scripts, and designing the sets for her own version of Swan Lake, just because she wanted to. And so what I realized is I started this book called Discovery Doodles, and it's about how we draw from infancy to industry. We draw in math and science. We draw in early childhood. We want to draw when we are 1 and 2 years old. And then we draw in business, and we draw wireframes, and we draw applications, and we draw roadmaps, and we draw strategic plans. And so I'm putting together these drawings of 250 drawings of the ways that we draw. Because what I found working with third graders, their light is on. They are alive, and they love to draw. And then I go to these conferences, and people that are 35, 45, 55, 65 flock to me because their light is being turned on for the first time since they were 5. And someone turned that light off. And I am so worried that my 2 little girls, some adult out there has the power to turn that light off. And so, this is my big risk. Careful the things you say. Children will listen. Careful the things you do. Children will see and learn. Children may not obey, but children will listen. Teach one little child. Teach them to doodle. Teach them to look inside for which way to turn to learn what to be. Careful before you say, listen to me. Children will listen. And you are all in the space where you are being creative, not only for adults, not only for businesses large and small, but for those pro bonos and those nonprofits that come up to you. I get those requests all the time. I give away $60,000 to $100,000 worth of graphic facilitation work a year. When someone from Zan Africa said, we need you to help tell the story of an African girl who can't finish her education because she doesn't have access to sanitary pads, I said yes, and I donated 100% of my services. When the VA said, how do we have doctors ask the funky question, do you want an HIV test? I said yes. A company just asked me, how can you help museum experiences be more visual for those that are sightly challenged? And I said, I don't know, but I'm trying to figure that out. All of us are in this space of creativity. This is an amazing organization that leans in to each other and helps build each other. We all come here and we open our hearts to each other. We all give the best hugs out there. If I can't perform a music number like this for you, who can I do this for? We are hired to be the novelty in the business industry. So show up and live large, because you and I define this industry. You and I define novelty. Come what may, come what may, will you draw with me forever and always? Live from New York, it is the IFVP 2013.